It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas around here. Gifts galore. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Indie Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, December the 16th, 2024, vlog number 388, and we're getting close to Christmas, to when we go off to our retreat, and, well, the crunch is on, isn't it? So let's take a look at what I've been working on this week. Now, because there is a crunch on, so to speak, I have not been all that productive. So basically, what I have managed to get accomplished this week, besides getting things ready for the retreat, making little kits and things, more about that tomorrow on Idiot Quilter, I have been working on this project, which is another table runner in the square style instead of long and rectangular, that I'm going to use after Christmas, when all the Christmas decorations are put away, to go onto my coffee table in my family room. Because, you know, when you take down your decorations, your house looks a little bare, doesn't it? Sometimes. But I'll talk more about this design and pattern and how I'm working on this tomorrow on Idiot Quilter. And that's really all I have to show for things I have been doing this week. Because, as I said, we're getting ready to leave on Christmas Day for Georgia for Stephanie Stitch's retreat. And more about that on the Idiot Quilter as well. Teaser, 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 teaser. Okay, so let's jump right into a YouTube channel. I've just discovered this channel. It hasn't been up all that long. It has nothing to do with quilting, but it has everything to do with restoring old houses and basically decorating and things like that. And I find the creator of this channel a very interesting person. So here's my review of the channel called Restoring Sean. This week's YouTube video is one I just stumbled upon the other day, and it's called Restoring_Sean. And this guy basically buys old houses and restores them, and I guess sells them again. But I discovered him because it came up into my recommended videos, because it had to do with Christmas. And this one is decorating his house for Christmas. Now, he is not over the top with his decorations, but he does have a lot more decorations than probably the average person does. But he shows and explains why he decorates in the way he does. I think he's a very interesting individual, and his YouTube channel seems like it's only been put up very recently. But I think his subscriber base is growing quite a bit. So I'm going to be subscribing to his channel and following more of his videos, because I do find him to be both a very creative decorator and restorer, but also a very interesting individual. So you might want to check out Restoring Sean. And you will find the link for Restoring Sean in the show notes below. You'll also find a link for this week's Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen, and that's at 9 a.m. every Wednesday. This week's a little different. We're going to be ending a bit early. We usually run till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but this Wednesday we will be finishing at 2 o'clock because Walter and I have to get our hair done. And it's important that we get her hair done. And Stephanie has some things on too. And there will not be another Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen until after the new year. So the next one and the first one of the new year will be on Wednesday, January the 8th. But we will put that in the show notes for anything we put up on YouTube before that time. Okay, you'll also find a link for my free patterns. Yeah, I am soon in the new year going to add 2 more patterns to my collection. They'll always be free. I don't sell them, but they're there for you. You just click on the link and download them. And that's When Stars Collide. And that was my first one. And then Windmills and Stars. I think there's a theme going on here, don't you think? But anyways, you are more than welcome to download them. They're fairly fast quilt projects to do, and I think they're nice, but then I might be biased. Okay, there's links to all my friends' channels, and 'tis the season for giving, so give them a little love by going over to their channels if you've never been there before. And you know what really helps us out as creators, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but it really helps when you subscribe. Yeah, it does. So give them a helping hand. Check them out. Also, there are links for, well, all the Missouri Star, with the exception of one, days 1 to 15. The links are here in the show notes as well. If you haven't caught our unboxing, and when I say our, I mean Stephanie and myself, Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches. We do this every year. This is our third year, so it's a tradition, and we have a lot of fun opening these up, but we do them in 5-day increments so as to not spoil it for anybody. So the days 11 to 15 just went live yesterday on Sunday, December the 15th. But all the links for all of those 5-day periods are here in the show notes for you if you have not yet seen them. You'll also find a link to something I'm going to talk about later in today's video about 3D printing, and you will find a link to all my past week videos, including So Chatty, which we did on Friday, as we always do, and we do not have a new series yet in So Chatty, but in the new year we will. We're planning that. If you have ideas, put them in the comments below or send them to me. My email's in the show notes as well. But this past week we did another unboxing, Walter and I, and that was the Santa sack. We call it an unbagging because it doesn't come in a box, it comes in a bag, from Quilter Quilting, which is a quilt store you've heard me mention many times here, or on the Idiot Quilter as well. So that was a lot of fun. Some great things in that bag as well, so you might want to check that out, because for many of you this will be foreign territory because this is a Canadian unboxing as opposed to American. Americans have lots of these boxes available to them. In Canada, they're more rare. So here's a chance for you to see what you might find in from a Canadian quilt store's Christmas box. Okay, so that takes me to what the weather's looking like outside. Right now, it is still dark, of course, because, we are moving to the shortest day of the year, December 21st. And, yeah, so it's dark, and it's 7:30 in the morning, and it's still dark out here. But you can see we do not have much of any of the snow that we did get left. We've had some cold days, but no precipitation, and right now it is a balmy 3 degrees C. And it's got a high of 7 degrees C. So hello, early fall weather around here. No snow. I'm not complaining. Okay, it's just fine by me. I know everybody at this time of year likes a little snow because it looks so Hallmarkish, doesn't it? Like those Hallmark movies. The snow's drifting down. She's found, or he's found, the love of their life, and they kiss on a street with busy shoppers and a little snow sprinkling on them. Yeah, well, no. That's not happening here at the moment. Wrong on so many scales. But this is what we've got right now. And hopefully, when we drive down to Georgia, we do not, on the northern part of our trip, hopefully we won't run into any snowstorms, because that could be bad. But anyways, just looking here on my phone at the weather forecast, no precipitation today. Well, no, that's a lie. But when's this supposed to happen? It says today, 90% chance of rain. Okay, when? Well, not until around 5 p.m. and later in the evening. Okay, rain, that's always nice. And then tomorrow, 55% chance of rain. But there is snow in the forecast at the end of the week on Friday, and it's supposed to go down to -4 as the high. But then Saturday, it's really cold but sunny at -8. Sunday, really cold, -10, but sunny. And Monday, sunny, -6. And Tuesday, a bit cloudy, and then back up to 1. So who knows? Who knows? The weather, I don't know. You've heard me say it before. Is this global warming, or is this is just nature? This is just the way things go. I don't know. A lot of people have said they remember that. I don't know why that's coming up on the screen, but tell it to go away. A lot of people say, oh, back when they were kids, had snow at the 1st of November, and the snow was so high, the dog got lost in it. The mailman had to bring his own shovel to get to your door. That's a long time ago. And yeah, used to have to tunnel their way to school. I do sort of kind of remember it that way, but was it? Think about it. Was it? When you get older, you tend to focus on a event and make it sound like it always happened that way, don't you? Yep. But anyways, can't do anything about the weather. It is what it is. Okay, so speaking of it is what it is. Okay. Now, Americans may not be as aware of this as we are here in Canada, but of course, for the last month, 4 weeks and counting, we have had a postal strike. Canada Post. Canada Post, what you may not know about Canada Post, which is maybe a little different from the way the U.S. Postal Service works, is Canada Post is not entirely a federal government domain. It was many, many years ago. However, Canada, one of the political parties in their infinite wisdom decided they were going to semi-privatize Canada Post, which meant that they run it as a crown corporation. Okay, that's what they call it, a crown corporation, which means they're supposed to be self-sufficient when it comes to their funds, not have to rely on the government for government money, and basically run like a business. And they have been for quite a few years, and losing money like crazy. Part of the reason is, in my opinion, I do not know everything there is to know about the whole inside workings of Canada Post. So I'm telling you this from this perspective of a consumer, okay? A non-postal worker. So basically, they haven't kept up with the times. They take a long time to get deliveries. It's very expensive to ship anything by Canada Post that isn't a letter. Letter prices, of course, are like $1.10 for a stamp, but who sends snail mail? That's the other thing they didn't keep up with. All my bills, everything like that is all e-transferred. Everything is done automatically, comes out of my account. I have paperless billing. You have to have paperless billing, at least in this country. You do have a choice whether you want paper copies of your invoices and that, but the companies charge you for them. The banks charge you for statements, everything. At one time, all of that was included in your usual day-to-day business, but not anymore. So they want you to go paperless, and that's okay by me. It's a little bit more convenient, especially when there's a postal strike going on. Christmas cards, not getting any Christmas cards. Well, you know something? Don't waste your money sending me a Christmas card because it is going in the garbage. Okay, that sounds horrible. Someone took the time to send me a Christmas card, possibly wrote a little note in it. If I get a Christmas card, and over the years, those have dwindled down to non-existent, and definitely non-existent this Christmas because of the postal strike, I do put them up on display, and then promptly when I'm taking down the Christmas decorations, they go in the garbage. And I'm not alone on that. Unless it was a card that somebody took a lot of time to make, and I know this person, I know this is something they do, and it's really nice, and everything like that. So I'll keep it, and then I'll put it in the back of a drawer, and about a year later when I'm cleaning out that drawer, I put it in the garbage. Okay, I know that sounds cruel, so please don't send me a Christmas card as if you were going to. Okay? But I don't send them. I haven't sent them out in years. Why? Because they cost you an arm and a leg, not to just buy the Christmas cards, but what Canada Post is charging to send them. In fact, you used to get a discount at Christmas time. When you bought a whole bunch of stamps for them, they gave you a little bit of a discount. Well, that stopped a long time ago. As well. So basically, Canada Post has put themselves into this position. In my opinion, again, I'm not an insider, so I don't know, but from looking from the outside in, it looks like it's been poorly managed because They still, although they were a corporation, they still had a let's work for the federal government mentality, which meant let's be lazy because the money will never run out. Yeah, we did. So now they have a strike because the workers would like a raise. Hey, that's how it works. That's not unusual. Can't blame the postal workers for wanting that. But even more so, they want some job security because Canada Post now has decided they wanted to change their infrastructure and become competitive with like Amazon deliveries and stuff like that. And in order to do that, they'd like to have their workers work on weekends so they can deliver 7 days a week. The thing is, they don't want to pay or give benefits to those workers for working then. They want to hire new workers, ones that they can give the minimum wage to or a reduced salary from what the contracted workers get and not pay them benefits or have a pension plan. They'd save a lot of money doing that. And everybody knows that, including the existing workers. And that's something else. That's why they're striking as well. Because basically their jobs are being pulled out from under them by Canada Post. That's the worker side of it. The postal side of it is, look, we'd love to give you a raise and all of this stuff, but we do not have the money. We're in the hole, and Canada Post is in the hole. Now, apparently they have a reserve fund that now that they're depleting, they're dipping into it as well. Again, from an outsider looking in, bad management when it comes to a business. The federal government is staying out of the fray, or they were. They have entered into it now because businesses are suffering, especially smaller businesses who depend upon Canada Post to get their products out. This, we all know, is the busiest time of the year, and this is the part of the business year where businesses make it or break it. And Canada Post is breaking those smaller businesses. And you have to feel for those. Now, a lot of the businesses, especially the ones that do business online, have switched over to courier services. And the story is, and what I've been reading, is that when this whole schnozzle of, I think that's a new word, schnozzle. Put that in my dictionary. When this whole thing is over with, they are probably not going back to Canada Post. So Canada Post is going to get further in the hole because there'll be no revenue from that. It is a horrible situation. And so now the government's entered the fray and they're saying, well, we're not going to legislate them back to work, but this is what we'll do. We're going to put everything on hold until next May so that the two sides can get their acts together and, come back to the bargaining table and be more reasonable. According to that Canada or to the government. But in the meantime, they're saying the Canada Post workers can go back to work and that their contracts are extended. So basically what they were getting before the strike is what they'll get up until sometime in May. And the hope is then that, as I said, cooler heads will prevail and they'll work this all out. Yeah, that's to be seen. I think what this actually does is give Canada Post more time to figure out how they can screw over the existing employees. And they will. They will screw them over. Because that's kind of the bottom line of doing business, isn't it? Screwing people over so you make more money. Okay, I know, I'm a cynic. And for those of you that might have a small business, yeah, I'm sure you don't consider you're screwing over customers. But if you really think about it, who's more important? Your bottom line or the customers? Don't know. Just again, saying from being on the outside and looking in. Don't send me hate mail. I'll ignore it. Okay, so that's what's happening. And this is what I'm pissed off at. I'm pissed off at it's gotten to this situation. Canada Post has been going downhill for years. First of all, they stopped within urban centers door-to-door delivery and put up community mailboxes. We've had those for about 30, 40 years. I don't know now. And they're just stupid. You've heard me tell the stories where they shove a parcel into the mailbox because they can open up the front of it. And then they close the front of it, but the front of it, in around each little mailbox slot, there's a little bit of a border, which when it's shut and you try to get that parcel out that they shoved in there, you can't get it out. You can't even get your hand in there. I have made complaints to Canada Post about that more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times. Get the same answer. Oh yeah, so sorry about that. Um, we'll have somebody out there tomorrow. They'll bring it to you, kind of thing, and they have with it. But then it happens again. And then I got told the last time I complained about that, I got told, well, yeah, they know that's a problem with the design of those mailboxes. It took you over 30 years to figure that out. And we've got new design now that are much better, and we're slowly replacing all of these boxes. Haven't seen those. And now there's a postal strike on. It'll never be replaced. They're not going to do it. That would cost too much money. They don't have any money. So there you go. So that service is gone. Oh, but they have postal outlets conveniently located, it seems in this country, in Shoppers Drug Mart. Every Shoppers Drug Mart has a postal outlet now. Well, somehow they did that because there was going to be a cost saving. I don't know. They rent that space. I don't know how that's a cost saving. I really don't, from having a central post office. And depending on which one you go to, they suck. I mean, you walk into one of them and you'll get excellent service. The person behind the desk knows exactly what they're doing. They're really efficient with it, blah, 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 blah. Then you walk into another one, they haven't got a clue. I'm on a break. So there's no kind of standard set for that. Even the mail, when it's delivered to the community mailboxes, is not delivered by postmen or post people. It's delivered by third-party companies. Any idiot with a car can get a job with Canada Post going around and dropping mail in the mailboxes. And some of them are illiterate. They have a hard time reading the address. I don't know how many times my neighbors have got our mail from that, or we get the neighbor's mail, or we get mail that's from another city. Yeah, and the address isn't even close to the same as our address. Okay, you gotta read. Really? I thought the whole idea of having postal codes was that it went through a machine and that automatically sorted it through. Yeah, don't know. Weird. Okay, so, in other words, why a friend of mine calls this Canada Post and Parking is because you do not get things in a timely fashion. Oh, you can pay extra. Yeah, for, expedited delivery. Uh-huh. Give it a try. Sometimes it works and you're shocked. You go, oh my God. And other times it's like, oh my God, not again. So, yeah. We have a distribution center on the other side of Toronto in a city called Mississauga. It's huge. Any mail coming into Ontario pretty much goes there. And we call it the black hole of Mississauga because if you've got something, especially if it's coming up from the States and it goes to Mississauga, you don't know when you're going to see it. It could have taken 2 days to arrive from the deep bowels of the United States, get across customs, and then it'll sit for 2 bloody weeks in the black hole of Mississauga. Yeah. You never know when you're going to get stuff. And that's the other problem with Canada Post. Completely unreliable. I mean, it's an essential service. Or is it? Think about it. There are all kinds of alternatives for getting things to where they need to go. And they're competitive in their pricing as well. I think it wouldn't be surprising to see during this whole restructuring of Canada Post, for lack of a better terminology for it, I wouldn't doubt that they might go to a big corporation to start delivering the parcels that come through them, like Amazon. Amazon here in this country have huge, huge distribution centers everywhere. I don't live very far from 2 of them. And they have a delivery system, a logistics system that works well. And I can see Amazon or Canada Post reaching out to Amazon and saying, hey, what's it going to cost us for you to deliver our parcels? And that would eliminate a lot of the postal workers. Well, no matter how they structure it, I think the postal workers that are on strike are going to have to realize something. They are going to lose jobs. It's going to happen. It's a horrible thing, but you better start getting your resume into other places, possibly Amazon. I don't know, just saying. I feel for them, but I guess the bottom line is you can't get blood from a stone. Okay? And, Canada Post is a stone. So, good luck. We'll see how this works out. In the meantime, I guess people will have to just realize that there are things that they're not going to see for quite some time. I've got a couple of things that are sitting in limbo. Luckily, they're not that important. But will I ever see them? Even when this strike is over, kind of a thing, or temporarily put on hold. Yeah, those things are probably, they're going to be so backed up that, well, might be a good time to dumpster dive, because I have a feeling that's where a lot of these parcels are going to go. Just saying. Okay, moving right on. I think we should have some coffee. Yeah. Okay, grow light. What's happening with our grow lights? Well, everything's green. Lots of lettuce. Bugs. Bugs aren't too bad right now, whatever Walter did. Now, in these pots here that are a little blurred off to the side, there's a little green thing coming up. He said the other day he thought that those seeds aren't going to do anything, but I don't know. They might be, but I could be wrong. Of course, all right, we have to start eating this. I love looking at it, but it's getting to the point now where it's got to be eaten, and we have basil coming out of our ears. I suppose I could make pesto. I think I've still got some in the freezer with that. But I like the basil plant. I really do. It's very pretty. And it looks here, this one right down here in the center with the broad leaves, I think that's a pepper plant. There's probably several in there. And speaking of which, Walter's been taking them and transplanting them into their own big pot. Our pepper plants are looking good. Yeah, they're looking real good. It's going to be a while before we get peppers on them, but yeah, they're looking good. So it's always nice. This is Walter's domain. I don't touch these. Like so many things in this house, I don't touch. And you might say this because you're a lazy asshole. Maybe. Just saying. No, Walter has these are things he likes to do, and he knows what he's doing. And I just, okay, keeps him off the streets. Yeah. All right. So, new haul, new products. Yes, I got my Reindeer Games order. If you don't know what that is, I've talked about an idiot quilter. It was a series of sales that another one of the quilt shops in my areas, Quilter's Cupboard had, and I ordered a few things from them, and they said they would arrive around December the 11th and would send an email, and they did. I was impressed. They had them. They were ready to go. Went up, picked it up. I'm very happy with what I got. And tomorrow I will show you what I got. So you'll have to tune in tomorrow to the Idiot Quilter for that. Okay, that takes me to, can I print this 3D effing thing? All right. I had showed you back a couple of weeks ago the biggest and most complex build I had ever done, which was the Christmas mansion. I'm very proud of that. Very proud of it. I do want to do another one from the designs that come from this person. I'm not sure how you say this person's name. It's F-U-L-U. Fulu. I don't know, but has some sensational designs. So I put together a little video to show you what potential other things I could possibly make down the road. Now, because I showed you the Christmas house that I made, that was the most complex 3D printed build that I have ever made. And I want to show you some other ones that down the road, if I get a new printer that can handle automatic color changing, I will attempt. Now, these are purchased models, meaning you have to pay for these. These are not free. And rightly so, because the designer of these, and I'm not sure how to say his name, he goes by designs by Fulv, F-U-L-V. Must have spent hours and hours and days, weeks even, designing these. Now, this is the one, I'll just click on it, that I put together, and it went together It was a lot of pieces, but it went together very easily, and I was very, very pleased with the end result. So I do want to do another one down the line once I get that new Bamboo Lab P1S printer that I was talking about. But let's just take a look at how the designs that they have. This was the first one that I ever saw on YouTube, and I'd really like to do this one. It looks very intricate, but so was the Christmas house, so I'm sure I can handle it. But it's just beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. And with the lights and the whole bit, it's just spectacular. But he has other ones that are really spectacular. And one that really caught my eye, and which is very complex to make, and I'm just looking for it here. It was called the Toy Factory. And I'm not sure where it is now. Maybe have to go up here and do a search. Toy Factory. Let's just see what comes up. And this is 3D Quilts, by the way. Here we go. This is it. He has two models, one that's called Static and one that's called Bundle. And the Bundle actually has a moving conveyor belt on it with gifts on it. And when I watched Macy Makes on YouTube putting this one together, she did run into some problems with that one. So I would probably stick to the Static model, which is this one. But look at the intricacy of this. And you can see that you really need to have a printer that will automatically change the color of the filament, because this is very, very intricate. So I am not going to attempt to do this one on my existing printers. I'll wait until I get a printer that can handle multiple color changes, like this floor, for example, that looks like stained glass. Just incredible. You know, it's just mind-boggling that you can do this kind of thing on a 3D printer. So I'm looking forward to down the road purchasing this. You can see the price is $25 Canadian, which, like I said, the time and the effort that was put into making these kind of things is, you know, worth the price, really. It's cheap, I think. And these are some more pictures of, you know, the various components that go into this. Probably will take a long time to print, but I think the end result will be worth it if I can get it all to go all together. So yeah, that's what I have planned in the future, and I thought you'd like to see this. This will be a challenge, but I think I'm up to it. Now I have a plan for the 3D print mill. After Christmas hubbub is over with and everything, and possibly when the postal strike is over or whatever, I am going to order for myself a Bamboo Lab P1S combo machine. What is that, you're going to say? Well, right now in the 3D printing community, everybody is abuzz about Bamboo Lab products. They're supposed to be one of the best on the market, if not the best. They are supposed to be like come fully assembled. I think there's only one little thing you have to attach. Beautiful prints, no tinkering around with things, the whole bit. I've watched a lot of videos and they seem to be all consistent in their opinion on these machines. And they're not cheap. The one I'm looking at is about $1,000, but it comes with a AMS, Automatic Materials Supply, or something like that system. And what it is you can put 4 or more, if you buy more of these units, spools of filament in them. And it automatically changes color when color needs to be changed. You do a little programming, but I don't think it's too major on it. And I'm going, yes. And I think it's time. I think I have got to the point where I've gotten the most out of my Crealities that I can. I mean, I'm not getting rid of my Crealities. I love them. I'm saving them. This will be an additional machine. But you're going to say, but wait, we've seen your display. I'll show it to you again. Yeah, there it is. I have 5 machines sitting there. Well, one machine is going. The second one from the end here, closest to us in the picture, that machine is one of the older Crealities. It's a version 2. It's going off to a friend of mine. I'm taking it down to Georgia. My friend's going to be there, and I'm giving it to him. And with a wish for having good luck with his printing. The other ones are the KE machines. I love them. They're doing beautiful work. But in that spot, or on that bench, when I get rid of that machine, I will have room for the new Super Deluxe machine. And it's time. It is time for this. Because I've evolved in my 3D printing. And yeah, but I'm waiting until after Christmas, after we get home from Georgia and then I will start putting everything into motion. And my fingers crossed, because it is a much more money than what I have spent previously on printers. Although still, when you think about it and what it does, it's not a bad price. And it's also bigger. So I can make bigger things in it. And then I might tackle one of those models from Fulv, however you say it. So yeah, so future videos, when I get it, I will let you know. It's going to be a bit of time before that happens. Okay, speaking of time, let's go back into the past, shall we? And let's take a blast from the past. Now, this one you're going to laugh at, and that's perfectly all right. It's one reason why I'm putting it up here. This is vlog number 1 from January 12th, 2017. Actually, I thought I started them a little earlier than that. Oh, no, not the vlogs. I started my channel way before then, but those were just short little videos showing some crafts, and what you saw were my hands, basically. This was the first time I really, truly faced the camera and talked. And it runs about 7 minutes. Whoa. I guess you wish for those days, don't you, now? But it shows you how I got started in this. And it's funny, because I don't know what the heck I was doing. Also, you're going to love the Harry Potter-like glasses and everything there and there. Yeah. And my hair might have been slightly darker. Not much. But yeah, that's the first one. But you will also hear mentioned in that video about something we were going to try for the first time. And that was a Stephen and Walter Live, which we didn't even call it Stephen and Walter Live in the very beginning. We called it a chat with Stephen and Walter. I think something like that. And I'm going to show you our very first Stephen and Walter Live next week. A clip from it, because it's a little longer. And you'll laugh. You will laugh. So yeah, enjoy this piece of humor. Unintentional humor.
Hi everybody, it's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and this is my first video vlog, and I don't know if I'll do this on a regular basis or not, but I thought I would just share with you for a few minutes what I've been up to. As you probably know, if you've been following my YouTube videos on a regular basis, I've just gotten back from a 1-month-long trip to New Zealand and Australia, and that was fantastic. And I've put up about 30 videos of my trip there. For you. Plus, there's a commentary or a review with my husband Walter that we made. It's kind of a long video, but I give a lot of, I think, interesting information about what I discovered when I was in New Zealand and Australia. So if you're thinking about a trip to Australia or New Zealand, you might want to check that out. Another thing that I'm thinking of doing on a more regular basis, sort of based on that review, is doing Champagne Friday commentaries on here with my husband, and that's usually on Friday nights. We kind of open up a bottle of champagne, 1 or 2, and have some hors d'oeuvres and just sit around and chat about our week and talk about different things and our plans for the future. So I was sort of thinking I might incorporate that kind of idea into a series of videos just where we talk about anything. It may be related to art and scrapbooking and that kind of stuff, or it might be related to travel or whatever else we find interesting that particular week. Anyways, we'll see how that works out. So that's in the works. Some other things I have in the works. Well, let me start by saying I haven't done anything productive since I've gotten home. This is January the 12th. I've been home now for a week and a half, and my sleep pattern's been really screwed up. I don't know if that's jet lag or what it is. I would expect some jet lag after this trip, because after all, Australia to North America, there's quite a few time zones you go through. But I didn't expect it to last this long. I'm really having some trouble sleeping at night, and I don't know, my moods are really weird too. I have not felt very artistic, since I've gotten home. And I don't know what's wrong with me with that. And I'm really trying to get myself back into the mood, but I just do not feel inspired. There goes my email, of course, when I'm making a video. Anyways, I'm hoping this is a temporary condition, and I'll get back into the groove of things. In the meantime, some things that are coming up. As you may or may not know, I volunteer for my local art gallery and give educational tours to kids and adults. And they've approached me for a new project where we're going to do some card making to create a series of cards that can be given out to special guests of the art gallery, thank you notes, that kind of thing. And they've asked me to head that up and to teach those classes to a group of our volunteers on a regular basis. So I've made some preliminary plans for this, and I'm having a meeting actually today with some of the people at the art gallery, the staff, to talk about the logistics of all this. So I'll keep you posted on that. Other things I've been up to. Well, I've finished my Australian, New Zealand album from my pictures. I actually was working on it while I was on the trip, and I was doing it through Project Life and through their app on my my iPad. And I am going to do a video about that. I just have a couple of pages to finish up. I'm waiting for the page protectors for those. And then I'm going to do a video about how I approached doing my scrapbooking while I was on my vacation. And I ran into a few problems with that, but overall, basically, my album is done. And it was done, with the exception of the printing of it, by the time I got home. So that's something coming up that I'm going to talk about as well. I'm a little bit behind in my Mission Inspirations by Mike Deacon. I didn't do December's because that came out when I was gone on my trip, and I was sort of planning to do it when I got back home. However, I'm really not in the Christmas mood now. It's January. So I think I'm just going to jump right into the new series of Mission Inspirations that he's started for this year. Again, I need something to spur me on. I have a class coming up in the first weekend of February. I'm teaching my art journaling class at our local scrapbook store, Class Act in Oshawa. And I'm looking forward to doing that, and I'm planning some future ones in that area as well. I have a bit of a following there, a bunch of regular clientele that come out for that when we do it, so that's great. What else can I tell you about what's going on? Well, I don't know. I've got some other ideas about things I want to do. I'm looking forward to seeing videos on YouTube of this year's CHA, which I think they've changed the name now to Creativation or something. Tim Holtz has come out with a whole bunch of new stencils and rubber stamps, and he's been doing some sneak peeks of that already on YouTube. And of course, you know me and Tim Holtz, I gotta have everything, so shut up, email. I have to have them all, so I've already started the process of pre-ordering some of this material, and I'm hoping that's going to give me some inspiration as well. I was a little bit behind in my regular watching of the YouTube channels that I've subscribed to, and I'm thinking about doing some more reviews about various ones that I go to on a regular basis for you if you don't know about them, so stay tuned for that kind of thing. So overall, I had a really good trip. Maybe that's the problem. I had too good a time on the trip, and I really don't want to be back home. Not that I hate my home. I don't. But, you know, it's really been hard to get back into this regular routine again since I've gotten back. So hopefully I'll get over the jet lag or this problem with my sleeping patterns. I'll get inspired to do some more art. And the next vlog is going to be on a little higher note and lots of other things to tell you. So thanks for tuning in, and thank you for your support to my website. And I have never said this before in any of my videos, but if you like my videos, click on the like button, subscribe to me, tell your friends. What the heck? Might as well get out there. Okay, have a good day. Bye-bye.
So that takes me to events in the past week. Well, the big event was yesterday. Russ of Quilt Meets World held one of his sewing shenanigans session. And that's when I was working on those blocks that you see behind me that I showed you earlier. And as usual, it was a good time with everybody. And I think people got things done, and everybody's under the crunch right now if you've been making stuff for people, for gifts, that kind of thing. So yeah, we had a good time. And that was about the highlight of the week, really, because I've been busy getting things ready for Georgia. All right, so what's coming up? Well, I've already mentioned that we've got the MSQC Christmas unboxing. Days 1 to 15 are now all available for you. If you haven't caught up on those or haven't seen them, they're there. Links in the show notes. I have to deliver my annual Christmas gifts to the ladies at Ultimate Sewing this week. That was one of the things I was doing. I was getting all my little gift bags together. And right now, underneath our Christmas tree, it looks really great because it's piled high with gifts. None of them are for us. They're for other people. We don't get gifts. And you saw Walter got me some fabric and a few weeks ago, and I got him the knife sharpener. Yeah, knife sharpener or something like that. We both knew what we were getting. But on So Chatty, we opened those up and made it look like, oh, we're surprised, yay, kind of thing. That's it. Yeah, that's okay. We buy, if I want something, I buy it for myself. So I'm not complaining about it. And there's nobody really around in my family to give gifts to. So yeah, so that's okay. Yeah, and so as I said, this coming week we're getting ready again. We're getting things organized. I have swag bags to get ready for the retreat, that kind of stuff. We're trying to figure out how we're going to get everything in the car. Oh my God, we're taking everything but the kitchen sink. I mean, Walter, good thing that Walter's back seats fold completely down flat because it's the only way we can get this stuff in. I mean, when we crossed the border, the same thing happened to us last year too. I kind of tremble thinking that the customs people are going to stop us at the border and go, "What are you smuggling into the United States?" Really, sir? It's just sewing supplies. We're not opening a store, although you might think we were. We're going to a quilting retreat. Right. Yeah. Two old guys, quilting retreat. Right. Pull over. Well, didn't happen last year. Actually, the poor guy probably didn't want to pull us over because he asked us to roll down the back window so he could see in, and he did. And I think he probably said, "Okay, you go through. We're not going through that crap that you've got in there." So, anyways, yep, we can't get another thing in. It's just, that's it. Packed to the brim. Like Walter said, you better watch it. We better secure it well, because if he has to stop suddenly, well, all there will be is our faces pressed against the front windshield with a sewing machine in the back of the head. Yeah. How did they die, officer? Impaled by a Janome. Yeah. Okay, so that's the week, and stay tuned for tomorrow's Idiot Quilter. I have things to show you on there, as I've already alluded to, and So Chatty on Friday. Not sure what we're doing for So Chatty on Friday. We have to think about it. Yeah, but we'll have something. And of course, Stephen and Walter live next Sunday, as per usual. Okay, hope you have a great week. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.